The security checkpoint at Kepler Station buzzed with the usual interstellar traffic. Merchants, diplomats, and tourists from across the galaxy streamed through scanners capable of detecting everything from concealed weapons to genetic modifications. Rafi adjusted his worn leather jacket nervously as he approached the gate, his girlfriend Alvina squeezing his hand reassuringly. "It's just a routine scan," she whispered. Her violet eyes, a trait of her Centauri heritage, gleamed with encouragement. "We've done this 100 times, but this wasn't like the other times. 3 weeks ago, during their archaeological expedition to the dead world of Terminus Prime, something had happened. Something neither of them fully understood." The scanner hummed as Rafi stepped forward, placing his arm on the bioreader as instructed. Its blue light swept over his skin. For a moment, everything seemed normal. Then the light turned red, then orange, then a color that had no name, cycling through frequencies that made nearby aliens step back in alarm. The machine's voice, usually monotone and efficient, began to stutter. Subject has error calculating. Impossible reading detected." Security officers converged on the checkpoint, hands moving to their weapons. Alvina pushed through the crowd, her face pale. "Rafi, what's happening?" The scanner's voice returned, but now it spoke with a reverence that chilled everyone. "Subject has survived direct contact with Apex God. Classification impossible. Threat level undefined. Recommend immediate error. Cannot compute appropriate response." Commander Zephyr, a towering Voran whose scales shifted color with his mood, materialized beside the scanner. His scales were deep purple, the color of profound confusion. "Human, explain yourself. What is an Apex God?" Rafi looked at his arm, then at Alvina, whose mouth had fallen open. I don't know what that means." "The scanner does," Zephyr growled, his scales darkening. "It's never wrong. This device contains the accumulated knowledge of 16 civilizations dating back 30 million years. If it says you've encountered an Apex God—" His scales shifted to a sickly green. An elderly Athran scholar, her translucent form flickering with excitement, floated forward. "Commander, if I may, the term Apex God appears only in the most ancient texts. Beings of such power that reality itself bends around them. Mythological stories used to explain cosmic phenomena." "Tell that to the scanner," Zephyr snapped. Alvina stepped closer to Rafi, studying his face. "The cave," she whispered. "On Terminus Prime." Rafi's memory flooded back. The expedition had uncovered ruins older than recorded history. Deep within a crystalline chamber, he had found what looked like a simple sphere of polished stone. The moment his fingers touched it, the world exploded into light, sound, and sensations beyond human comprehension. He had seen the birth of galaxies, the death of stars, and something vast and ancient regarding him with what might have been curiosity. "It spoke to me," he said quietly, causing the checkpoint to fall silent. "Not in words, in concepts. It said humanity was interesting, that we were the first species it had encountered that didn't immediately worship or flee from it." The Athran scholar's form brightened with excitement. "What did you do?" "I talked back," Rafi admitted, feeling foolish. "I asked if it was lonely." The silence stretched until Commander Zephyr's scales shifted to bright orange, the color of disbelief. "You conversed with an Apex God?" "I laughed," Rafi continued, the memory sharpening. "At least, I think it was laughter. Then it said humans were the only species foolish enough to befriend the infinite, and that we might be worth watching." The scanner spoke again, its voice carrying a strange warmth. "Additional data. Subject bears quantum genetic markers indicating blessing status. Protective protocols activated. Subject is under divine aegis." A ripple of fear and awe passed through the crowd. Beings that had never agreed on anything suddenly found themselves united in amazement at the impossible human before them. Alvina gripped Rafi's hand tighter. "So what does this mean?" The scholar's voice trembled. "It means that while other species have spent millennia trying to understand gods, avoid gods, or appease gods, Humanity has apparently befriended one. Commander Zephyr Scales had settled into a resigned gold. It means this human cannot be scanned, cannot be restricted, and according to 16 civilizations' protocols must be treated as a divine ambassador. I'm not a diplomat, Rafi protested. I'm just an archaeologist from Denver. Nevertheless, Zephyr replied, you now have unlimited travel privileges, diplomatic immunity across all known space, and the protection of cosmic forces we don't understand. The scanner has classified you as the single most significant being to pass through the station in its 30,000-year operation. As they were escorted to the VIP section, a level of difference usually reserved for galactic emperors, Alvina shook her head in amazement. Only you would make friends with a god and then ask if it needed company. Rafi grinned, feeling the strange warmth in his chest that had been there since Terminus Prime. A connection to something vast and ancient that found humanity's stubborn friendliness endlessly amusing. That's humans for you, he said as alien dignitaries began lining up to request audiences. We'll befriend anything, even the impossible. Behind them, the scanner continued its work, but now it occasionally hummed what sounded remarkably like a happy tune, as if it too had been touched by humanity's inexplicable ability to find friendship in the most unlikely places. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.